So, TPS Ultimate Soccer received a pretty controversial update recently, and it's got people crying in their rooms all around the world. In this video, I'll be going over every single change, offering perspectives from both me and other content creators. First up, Ranked Gold mode. High levels were jumping for joy when this first came out, as it gave them a place to play against people who were at least decent at the game. Bronze and Silver can definitely be a mixed bag, as the level requirements for those modes are only 30 or 50. As a result, it basically just feels like standard with offside and a tiny bit of skill. Some may have problems with the level requirement, as it's triple that of Silver ranked. But the number of players over level 150 has increased a lot lately, so it makes sense to have this mode added. However, a lot of people hate that they have to be at least level 150 to get triple XP now, as Silver was changed to double XP. I imagine this was done so more people have a reason to play in gold ranked, so fair enough personally. I joined visu for a stream around a week ago, and this is what he had to say about gold ranked.
Ranked gold is amazing. I've said it the whole time. The last 3 days I've been on stream or playing it, I said it was amazing. I think it was the best. It was the best update so far in the last few months. Or a year or two.
Then we've got the graphics update. They changed a few things here. First of all, there are less graphics options in the settings. They've removed HDR, color correction, field detail, 3D grass, direct lighting, and screen filter. Aside from that, according to Tayfun, all he changed was some colors and an extra texture, which I'm assuming is the new field texture. So why then are so many people complaining about lag and their frame rate dropping much more than before? I believe I have the answer. A friend of mine glitched under the map a couple days ago, and he realized that the old floor wasn't even removed. It was just left underneath the current one. I'm not certain, but it may be possible that this is causing the lag recently, so we can only hope Tayfun fixes this soon. After that, there is the performance update. I don't really know what's changed here, as it generally feels the same to me. I'm guessing whatever improvements were made to performance ended up being overshadowed by the massive grass block underneath the map anyway. Next up is the reaction hit update. People have complained about React for eternity, and thankfully I do believe it was improved at least a little in this update. Before, a lot of touches you take on the ball would not register. Dribbling does feel a little easier now, at least for me. Next line, some of ball push issue fixed. By this, I believe he means the problem where you'd get flung back by the ball sometimes while trying to dribble. I haven't played enough to notice whether it's happening less, but if so, then I do appreciate it, as it was a regular problem in the past. I'll save the next couple lines for the end, as they are very big. Moving on, another controversial change. Main game and practice arena merged. At first, a lot of people were panicking because they noticed the black pads were gone. It does seem like this was eventually reverted back, as the pads were back when I checked out the game in a new server. Alongside this, stamina was no longer infinite in practice arena. A lot of people hated this change, as the practice arena was no longer different to the main game, as they were now also limited by stamina there. A much welcome new addition though is the ball button. It allows you to spawn a ball and teleport it to you at will, so you never have to go chasing a ball again. A fellow content creator and friend of mine, Fear, had a lot to say about this part of the update. He says, "Oh, why can't I air dribble anymore? Why is there stam in practice arena? This ain't the main game, it's a place to practice. Revert now, keep the place ball option, remove everything else added. Deadass, no one likes this update. Just revert before we all quit." After this, there's just a bunch of minor fixes and improvements to how the game runs. And now, we arrive at the biggest, most disliked part of this update, the changes to goalkeeping. First, they added a catch cooldown, which meant you couldn't do GKF or GKR for 10 seconds after you pick up or catch the ball. Catch resetting was removed as a result, meaning you could no longer fix a bugged catch or extend the amount of time you're holding the ball for. This posed a problem for keepers, as the bugged catch does cause a lot of issues. In response, I released a video a few days ago showcasing a new method to catch reset. The next day, that was also patched. I'm assuming Tayfun just doesn't want people extending the catch, and I sort of understand that, as it could be counted as cheating. After that, there's GK catch push issue fixed. This addresses the problem where catching the ball would sometimes push the keeper in the direction they were moving, leading to a lot of accidental goals. This basically removed my clearance from the game, which relied on the mechanic of the keeper being pushed out of the box while catching to break react. Even more important though was that in their attempts to fix the push, they ended up removing the most used combos for goalkeeping, X+R and X+F. They are no longer possible to do, as there is now a delay after X before you can use any other move. The amount of people that have contacted me about this was just absolutely nuts. It's clear that this is one of the biggest and most controversial updates in TPS history. The way Tayfun describes it, it's just a bug fix and the combos were never meant to be in the game to begin with. I do understand this point of view, but I personally believe that reflex catches were not game breaking in their usage. They only provided a way to catch while also having a large surface area. I reached out to a couple content creators for their opinions on the update. First of all, Yashin God felt pretty intense about everything. He said, "Bro, okay, so about the new TPS update. Alright, for someone, this update is horrible because you can't do X+F/R combo. And I understand those people who really use this and can't live without it. For me, it's nothing. I used to play with dives in the past, so I don't really care about this. But how am I supposed to save redkachu with F or R or dive in ranked when combo removed and net still bigger as before? Right, I don't know, lol." So my final words, this update is imbalanced. At least Tayfun could have made the net smaller for ranked. Tayfun, you your is you this. I'm done, lol. I then asked Visu. He shared a different view. He said, to be honest, I think the update is really good, but I don't know much about keepers, so I don't have a say for X+R. A lot of outfielders like the update for what it did in terms of both ranked gold and react. Goalkeepers basically have the complete opposite view, however. I then asked Denny, a contributor to the game, what his thoughts were, and he said he understands both sides. It hurts to see how the combo got patched, but he also understands the reason behind it. He doesn't really mind. I didn't really understand what he meant by the reasoning behind it, as the combo didn't seem to be that problematic to me. This was his response. The reason behind this is because we concluded that goalkeepers are way too overpowered in TPS. Yeah, I know it's not impossible to score on a goalkeeper, and some of them find it too easy to score on goalkeepers, but the combo wasn't even meant to be included, according to Tayfun. It's just a glitch, and when you actually catch the ball like that, your movement will just be very weird. One of the ways to stop it is just simply removing the combo. I partially understand where he's coming from. When he says your movement will just be very weird, I'm assuming he's referring to the catch bug where your character sort of bugs out after you save a shot with a reflex catch. He continues, "Even though I've used the combo a lot in the past, I don't really mind. All I can say is just temporarily deal with it for now. I can't tell if we're gonna fully work on it or not, but Tayfun is already planning to change the whole goalkeeping mechanism." Now this is big. It means not only are we losing a core combo, they could revamp the goalkeeping system as a whole. Now whatever the new system is, I'm sure almost everyone would dislike it at first, and that's normal. I just hope that if this goes ahead, Tayfun puts enough thought into it and makes it a good balanced system. I'm sure that the last thing anyone wants is something like the RF24 goalkeeping mechanics. They would probably be way too different to classic TPS. There's also some talk that Tayfun is planning on removing combos as a whole. This includes burnaldo, redkachu, and all the other shots and moves people use outfield. I can't confirm this as there's no concrete evidence, but it's not too difficult to believe considering the removal of the core combo we just discussed. A possible theory I have as to why the game's developer is straying away from game combos is to appeal to the masses. Making the game simpler would of course make it much easier for new players to get into it, as there aren't a bunch of people running around spamming OP combos, which would obviously boost its potential popularity. For this reason I do get why he's done this, but it's also completely alienating the players who are more skilled. Tayfun, if you're watching this video, I want you to hear me out, man. Ultimately, going in this direction will make the game more appealing to new players, but they won't necessarily stick around as they won't have any higher level skills to train and aspire to. On top of this, a lot of higher levels will likely abandon the game if it moves in this direction, as they've spent months or years of their lives trying to perfect a whole set of different combos, even inventing their own at times. We all just want you to understand how frustrating this can be for those players. I personally have only played the game for a couple years, but I know of people who have spent 10 years perfecting their skills, so just try to imagine how it would feel for all of that to have been for nothing. I speak for the whole community when I say we're grateful that you created this game. We understand that without you it wouldn't exist. We just ask that in return you take our feedback into account for things like this, because we're the ones who spend our time playing the game. Without a consistent player base, this game wouldn't have any heart to it, you know? Everyone you'd find in public lobbies would just be level 20s who will stop playing after around a week, as there are no new skills left to learn. That'll be all for this video. If you enjoyed it, drop a like, maybe sub, and thank you for watching.